So, what is baiting humanitarian energy from a person exactly and provoking it? It's a real good question. To be completely honest with you, I personally believe that baiting humanitarian energy comes from experiencing someone that wants to use specific fear mongering tactics or emotionally bullying and manipulative tactics to get someone to abandon themselves, to rescue or show up for another person, to a degree of getting that person to not listen to what they're drawn to doing, but just baiting them into acting on a sense of human decency for whoever is baiting this part of them in the first place, where human decency is exploited through this baiting tactic to such a degree that a person gets desensitized from even wanting to then act on a sense of human decency towards others because of how regularly it gets exploited through it being consistently provoked from others. And this can be as simple as someone asking for help when they actually don't need it. It could also be as simple as someone taking advantage of another person's assistance to such a degree when they don't need it anymore. But it was exploited. Do you get what I'm saying? That sounds sick. Do you think that's why so many people are desensitized in this world? Is because they've been taken advantage of through their own human decency towards others to such a degree that the humanitarian parts of them have been closed off intentionally because of how often it's been taken advantage of by others. Yeah, I actually do believe that. If anything, it's a part of, I think, why so many people are desensitized when they actually see people in need of help, because they can't tell the difference. And if they can, their trauma will restrict them from acting on a sense of human decency because of how much their humanitarian side's been exploited already, to where they feel the need to protect themselves the moment they see someone asking for help because that trigger is still present. So, what do you think the state of humanity needs to necessarily do to transition beyond the point of whatever PTSD or just a sense of anxiety or social anxiety in regards to encountering people that are asking for help or that are in need of it? What do you think that folks need to do? Well, I think this is a matter of what they need to give to themselves more than what they really need to do. And in my opinion, I personally think that what folks honestly need to give to themselves is a set of values and boundaries around what they are going to decide for themselves is a genuine need for help and when someone actually doesn't need it. But also to set boundaries with themselves of knowing that it's not their job to save everybody either, and to know that it's okay to allow someone to figure it out for themselves, especially when you don't feel drawn to helping them, and to not guilt yourself for it. You see what I'm saying? I guess that kind of contradicts everything, we get told on a regular basis of people expecting other people to just be open to consistently giving whenever help is asked for, to just give without considering if this is something we even resonate with doing for this specific individual. And I guess the teachings around always giving a helping hand might have been taken a bit too far, to such a degree that it's turned more into an obligation than a sense of resonation. Interesting. What else do you got to say about this? Well, why do we exist? Especially with having a humanitarian side to us, exactly. And a common sense of human decency when we decide to act on it, exactly. Why do we exist in those things? Well, I'm assuming it's to just spread kindness and create a sense of community and connection with others that we interact with or meet, right? Like, that's kind of a no-brainer. And then we would expect others to, reciprocate that, obviously, in some way. And then if we're just giving, in a sense, I guess, it makes us feel good about ourselves. If we just give, it makes us feel really good about ourselves. Kind of an ego boost in a way. Okay, so if that is consistently repeated over a period of time, what do you think happens when that kind of behavior is reinforced with that kind of mindset? Have any guesses? The only thing I can think of is that we begin to exploit our own humanitarian sides, and we begin to then exploit our own. We begin to exploit our own sense of human decencies to where we desensitize ourselves because we reinforce the experiences. When we actually experience people that don't reciprocate or give us the satisfaction of reciprocation towards what we give, or even when we give and it's taken advantage of, we're the ones exploiting ourselves through our lack of boundaries and personal values for how and when we choose to act on these things ourselves. Which means we're the cause of our own exploitation of us being taken advantage of by people that may not actually need our help after all. But we blame them the moment they ask for our help, or when we see someone saying they need assistance, we blame them or get upset at them because we're still triggered by our own lack of responsibility for ourselves because of what we experience from others. Whoa. I feel offended and yet at the same time mind blown and enlightened at the same time. What is going on here? It's called an ego death, actually. It's called an ego death. But why would I need an ego death around something like this? Especially since I know that I've experienced moments where even if I did exploit my own humanitarian side and human decency to be able to give to someone else that I eventually found out was just either taking advantage of me or didn't need my help actually after all, why am I the one going through the ego death if I was the one done wrong? Or if I was the one taken advantage of? Why am I the one going through this? That's not fair. You do realize that you already said the statement earlier, right? You exploited yourself due to you lacking personal boundaries and values you didn't create for yourself around how you showed up in your choice of how you wanted to show human decency or act on your humanitarian side towards others. That is why you're going through the ego death. So the question is, it's not about what's been done to you, okay, that's triggered you into a state of being defensive or protective when you see someone is asking for your help. No. It's about, what are you going to do next? Are you going to stay in a state of being desensitized from still not staying connected to your humanitarian energy and still staying disconnected from your sense of human decency? Or are you going to now start to build boundaries and values around how you're going to protect yourself with that? Because I guarantee you, you're not going to be as defensive or paranoid or feeling the need you need to act like you don't see anything as a form of a defense mechanism when someone is asking for assistance and you want to act like you don't see them. I guarantee you, when you build these things, you will not be afraid to look at them and say no or yes. Or where did you learn about even the idea of values and personal boundaries exactly? Just outside of this topic, exactly where did you even get exposed to that kind of mindset of operating in this exactly? Well, to be honest, there was a day a while ago that I was reading through a book called The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And that is my first exposure to me learning about what values are. From there, I sat with myself and eventually discovered exactly what values I was living by and started to expand on that knowledge myself once I got exposed to that information through reading that book. You should check it out yourself, honestly. It'll change your perspective on a lot of things. Interesting. So you had to teach yourself through discovering it through a material you were reading. And that's how you discovered this. And then you expanded on it through then discovering what you're talking to me about now. Through the information you then expanded on your own. When you sat with yourself after reading what you got exposed to through what you read. Exactly. It's not about me following exactly what I learned through what I read. It was about what I expanded on through sitting with the information and meditating on it and finding for myself what I needed to learn for me in order to understand what I didn't understand before outside of the material. You could do the same thing. I get it now. It's like you are exposed to information that's supposed to illuminate something that you resonate with, and then you sit with yourself away from the material that exposed you to new information to understand why the specific information that lit you up or that you resonated with lit you up in the first place. And from there, that's when you find the answers within yourself for what you need to do for yourself outside of the material you read. But if it wasn't for the material that you read in the first place, you wouldn't have been able to then tap into that. So the material that was portrayed or delivered or read in whatever way was an activator to help you activate a part of yourself so that you were ready to tap into it to find your own answers around what you're supposed to be doing. Did I understand that correctly? So it's not that you found an answer, it's that you found a piece to something that activated something within you so that you could find your own answers within for what you need to do for you. And the materials provided were activators for it. The information provided were just activators, not answers. Exactly. Exactly. That's why you can do it too. If you listen to the guidance within and pay attention to it and feel through it personally for yourself. And not just only mindlessly read what's in front of you, or listen to what's in front of you, or watch what's in front of you irresponsibly. Even if this is just a side tangent, personally.